What are you looking at?
Pornography.
Kept you waiting.
Welcome to episode 8 of Casual Mode, your weekly jaunt into the news and happenings of the world we are interested in. I'm Dan, and here's the guy that once destroyed Tokyo. It's Fodzilla. Hi, Carl.
Hiya. You alright?
Good. You okay?
Good. Yeah, very good. Very good.
How was your
Peppery.
How's your tennis lesson?
It's good. I'm still rubbish.
Still rubbish. You got wicked serve.
Which is why my elbow is destroyed.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's why the elbow's not working.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
What are you drinking?
It's water.
I've got water and a Pepsi Max. I've doubled up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's weird. You have a sip of water after a sip of Pepsi. It's very...
It's just like having diluted Pepsi.
A little bit. That was pretty much what it was.
Have you ever like heated up Pepsi Max to boiling point and then taken like the remaining residue and then just snorted it?
No. Is that a thing?
I don't know. I was asking you. You could have
Pepsi
been a
tracks?
trailblazer. Pepsi track. Is that what they call lines of Patterson?
I don't know.
I've never done them before.
Oh, fair enough. Do you like Formula One?
No, why?
Just thought I'd ask. We have we've got 7 things to go through this week.
I'm paid for this, by the way.
Okay. 7 things to go through this week. First off, we're going to talk about October's games releases. Have you had a look at this list, or have you been lazy this week? Or...
I provided this list to you.
No, you didn't. I
Yeah,
changed
so-
it because you gave me the Reddit one and it was shit.
Oh,
So I've changed it. There's a whole heap of games that are coming out in October. It feels like a very, very busy month. So we're going to talk around a few specifics and see whether or not Carl actually wants to buy them. I know one he does, but apart from the others, we'll see. Kill Night, October 3rd, on all platforms by the look of it. It's a dash of arcade-inspired action, a pinch of ultra-aggression, bake until perfect inside the reanimated armor of a knight on a holy quest to kill all angels. And you have a recipe for what should be a white-knuckle ride. Looks all right. Doesn't particularly...
That's quite good. It's got good fun.
Looks all right. Yeah, it does. Until Dawn, you ever played that?
Never. Is it good?
Yeah, it's all right. It's a horror game. No, you're not really into
Oh,
yeah, horror. But, gory and like decision-based.
I can't make a decision to save my life.
There you go. You'd be killed by indecision. There you go. Another horror game, Silent Hill 2. That is a full ground-up remake by the Bloober team. It's a
Was playing that
frightfully
when I
good
was
one.
younger. Horrible. Scared the life
Don't
out of me.
like those games.
The guy with the metal triangle-shaped head. What was his name? Was it
Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
Pyramid Head.
I saw the movie as well, I think. That was also
The
scary.
movie was fine, where he rips the skin off the guy.
I couldn't carry on watching it. I was very young.
Yeah, scary that. Horror films when you're young. I watched The Hills Have Eyes when I was really young, and that was bad. I still have nightmares about that. Disgusting.
I remember...
a lot of rape.
that took a turn. I remember watching The Ring
Oh,
when I was in America. And it was...
who's Ring?
The movie The Ring.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
Pervert. So I watched The Ring when I was in America, in my friend's basement, and it's not relevant. And they thought they were funny, and they rang the phone as the movie comes to its conclusion. I obviously shit myself, run out of the house, go back over to my aunties who live just on the other side of the block, and then I worked out as we were flying home that I'd watched it perfectly 7 days before my birthday, and I thought that's too coincidental, and I just so happened to be playing football in a tournament in Prestatyn in Pontins on my birthday, and the whole night of my birthday we were like in the arcades, and all I could think about was, if I've watched the movie in America, does that mean she has to? Obviously, I'm very young. I'm like 11. Does that mean that she has to traverse, on the bottom of the ocean to get to me?
Yeah.
Does that mean I've got like a few extra months of leeway, or is she just going to turn up while I'm in the arcade with all my friends? But obviously I survived. But I was legitimately afraid, to the point that I told people quite seriously I was legitimately afraid.
Okay, there we go.
How much are you for this session?
Quite a lot. You're welcome. Diablo 4, The Vessel of Hatred. That is out on October 8th. That's the latest expansion on pretty much all platforms that Diablo is available on. Did you ever finish Diablo, or did you kind of give up on it?
Which one?
4.
No, not at all. I played it for a good couple of hours when it came on Game Pass. I think it was on Game Pass on the Xbox at one point. Played a few hours of it. I don't think 3 or 4 were anywhere near as good as 2 was back. And maybe that's like the nostalgia vibe. I love Diablo 2 on the PC. One of the games that my cousin showed to me like one summer that we went over to America again. I was a bit older that time. I was still alive. World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo 2 that summer was pretty good. But yeah, Diablo, I'll probably play this, to be honest, because I want to give it a chance. But we shall see.
We shall. Like the from Chicago to Prestatyn. It's not quite the Tiny Temper song. But yeah, I really enjoyed Diablo 3, but 4 just didn't click. So I probably need to give it a go. Yeah. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is on October 8th. Are you a Dragon Ball fan?
I'm not, but there's a guy, the new junior in my team, he doesn't listen, because I would never tell him that this is the thing.
No.
Because then we'll have 2
never tell
listeners.
him.
He is a massive Dragon. Do you know like how like the footballers these days do like the celebrations, like Dom Solanke does it and stuff, and Kanate, and I look at them and go, "What's wrong with you?" The guy in my team loves it. He cannot wait to play this game. Every time I see him in the office, he's talking about this or Z-scalar problems. So,
okay,
very excited.
Backyard Baseball 97 is a beloved game, and that's been remastered, and that's out on Steam. This month, Playground Productions, it says here, has gone to extraordinary lengths to bring the game back to life, as the company claims the original source code was lost in the years since the 1997 release. Like the original game, you can expect to get into the swing of things with a cute game that makes a few changes to the rules that work in favour of backyard stadiums. What are you giggling at?
Getting the swing of things.
Okay.
Can I just say, your description of that game, you hit it out of the park.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Great balls. Metaphor Refantasio, worst name in the world. Atlas is basically bringing out a new game, and I think this is their first IP in a very, very long time. It's a politically charged adventure story, more than just a stylish Persona spin-off. Metaphor Refantasio features several new gameplay systems, including combat archetypes and bonds, inside of a grand RPG story about self-discovery and forming social links along the way. So excited to see if that's any good. I will wait for the reviews, but that's out. We're recording on the 2nd. That's out on the 11th, so not long. Starship Troopers Extermination, October 11th. We've had a spiritual Starship Troopers earlier in the year, Helldivers 2. But it's now time for the real deal to make landfall and start squashing some bugs as it heads out of early access. So I think it's been getting semi-decent reviews, and people seem to be enjoying it. So, but that's out on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. That was a scary film.
The video looks good. I haven't actually seen the movie. Yeah. The videos of it look good. I saw there was going to be a Starship Troopers VR game.
Yep. Don't know when. Can't remember. A boxing game's coming out as well, October 11th again. So Undisputed. No, it is not Ricky Allen. The last time a major and licensed boxing game was released was back in 2011 with EA's Fight Night Champion. More than a decade later, Undisputed from Steel City Interactive is stepping into the ring for a few rounds. First released in early access on Steam in January 23, the full release is headed to PS5 and Xbox Series X as well. And the game features over 70 licensed fighters in its roster. It says here you can play as Anthony Joshua and get knocked the fuck out. Sit down. Life is Strange Double Exposure, October 15th. The first game's protagonist, Max Caulfield, returns in Life is Strange Double Exposure. And this time she has a few new tricks to help her explore a murder across multiple timelines. Life is Strange is all right. I don't know if you ever played it.
No.
Yeah, again, like bit point and clicky, bit kind of like all about story kind of thing. But the soundtrack to it is really good. Just Dance 25 is out. I'm not going to go into detail about that. A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead, so based on the hit film franchise, but it's a budget-friendly horror game as well. So it's single player. It tells a new story within the world of Quiet Place films. Like those movies, sound plays a vital role in survival, and with some clever audio engineering in its design, this could be one of the most suspenseful horror games of the month. Yeah.
You gonna get it?
Do you like Super Mario Party?
Ooh. I can tell you a story about the last time I played Super Mario Party.
The bad person. Okay, let's not talk about that. So Super Mario Party Jamboree is out on October 17th on Switch. I love a good Super Mario Party game.
It's good.
We should play it at some point, and I think it won't
Yeah.
curse me in any sort of way. It'll be fine.
No? You won't lose your job.
No. Sonic X Shadow Generations is out on October 22nd on pretty much everything. With Sonic the Hedgehog movie threequel hitting cinemas in December, Sega is striking while the promotional iron is hot to reintroduce fans to the ultimate life form, Shadow. Nice. This includes a remaster of both Sonic Generations and a brand new story-driven campaign in which you play as Shadow the Hedgehog. Both hedgehogs can blast through old-school 2D and 3D levels. And in the case of Shadow, he'll have a brand new campaign mode and never-before-seen abilities that players can master. Okay. I do want to jump into Warzone again. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is out October 25th.
You'll never play it.
Why won't I?
We loaded it up once when, after
you were rubbish at it. You just kept on running off and getting killed. So
we played it once.
That's what
and I don't think we completed actually, was it you that I used to play that with?
We did play it a bit.
Did we?
Yeah.
You with?
Pete played for a bit.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. And we branched off into the other games. And then we stopped.
Then we stopped. Yeah. But I do want to get back to those games. I feel like winter games, like those kind of multiplayer, shoot 'em ups. But this one is, trying to remember which provider it is, or which developer it is. Can you find out now? Look at the next one. Sure. Next game, Pokemon trading card game Pocket is out. So the Pokemon trading card game continues to be more popular than Taylor Swift, and Pokemon trading card game Pocket is aiming to replicate the highs of that physical game in a digital format like the original tabletop game. You'll be able to collect cards, battle other trainers, and marvel at some beautiful illustrations. It remains to be seen if it will be aggressively monetized, because it is a free-to-play game after all, but the mobile game will offer free daily booster packs and other goodies to draw players in.
Oh, I suspect they've got to recoup that money. It's being co-developed by Treyarch and Raven Software apparently. They've got to recoup all that money that they've obviously lost with Palworld and all of the YouTubers that that's more Nintendo, but all the YouTubers that they're now putting strikes against and different emulators that they're suing because they're bad people. If Laurie's listening, they're bad people.
They are bad people. Batman Arkham Shadow is coming to MetaQuest 3 and Quest 3S. This looks all right. It says here it's been a disappointing year for fans of the Arkhamverse and a bit of a headache for the Dark Knight, but at least there's a new Caped Crusader game on the horizon in the form of Batman Arkham Shadow. Set between the events of Arkham Origins and Arkham Asylum, this is a VR exclusive game where you become Batman, facing off against the Rat King and his cult. The Rat King. Featuring familiar faces and future foes, the game has all the hallmarks of an Arkham game, including brutal combat, predator stealth sections, and crime scenes for the world's greatest detective to investigate. If you are looking to pre-order the new MetaQuest 3S, you'll also get this game bundled in as a freebie.
Amazing. I'm so happy that you convinced me to get the PSVR 2.
Yeah, it's great peripheral. We'll talk about that in a minute. Redacted is out on October 31st.
This looks like an embargo. Are we that big that we're getting embargoed now on reviews?
On what way?
And you've had to redact it.
Nice, very funny. No, that's the name of the game, Carl. Name of the game. So it is the Callisto Protocol universe is being revived through this game, and if you're in the mood for a roguelike dungeon crawler with a punk rock attitude, you're in luck. Is that something you're looking for?
Nope.
Okay, Redacted puts you in the unfortunate boots of a security guard looking to reach the last escape pod in Black Iron Prison. But you'll have to battle prisoners who have broken loose and other abominations along the way. What makes things especially interesting is that when you die, your corpse will be reanimated to battle you in a future run. So the stronger you are before your demise, the more challenging the shadow, or more challenging that showdown will be when you reach the point of no return.
Interesting.
Okay, that's pretty much it for the month. Just
no, it's not. No, it's not.
That's pretty much it for the month. Shadows of the Damned Hella Remasters out on October 31st. It took 13 years, but one of the most irreverent horror action games of 2010s. It's coming out there, produced by Resident Evil legend Shinji Mikami and multiple other people, and written by Suda51 as well. So you can expect updated graphics, new costumes for Demon Hunter, Garcia Hotspur, brother of Tottenham Hotspur, a new game plus mode, and several jokes about using your Johnson siren side on. So out of those games, anything you're interested in?
Come on. There's one more.
Talk about Redacted. Oh, sorry. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is also out on October 31st on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series.
It's going to be the first game in the past month that I'm going to pay full price for. Because before EAFC, I hadn't bought a game full price in so long, and now I've broken my duck, and I'm going to get it again.
It's a lot. It's very expensive.
I know, but I'm going to want to play it, and it's not out on the Switch, so.
Oh dear.
It's got loads of nudity in it. Get in.
Has it?
Yeah.
Define loads. Sell me.
Sell me this pen. Well, you played Inquisition, didn't you?
Nope.
Oh, right.
Played 1 and 2.
I did. That must have had nudity.
I can't remember. I don't remember the nudity in game. I'm a civilized guy.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, yeah, no. So you could romance your co-characters in the game. So I went after Cassandra, because she liked my baguette, stone baked.
Just a bit of water. Pop it in the oven. Sprinkle the water over it. So you put FM25.
Yeah, I put this in. I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with it, but This is really interesting. So there's been a lot of back and forth on the Football Manager subreddit, which I frequent because I am getting to a certain age where watching other people enact what I want to do is enjoyable for me.
It's just back to the porn again.
What, you still talking about Dragon Age?
Cassandra,
she's class, mate. French, lovely. So
une baguette.
Exactly. So they're bringing out a new engine this year, and they're basically saying, "Oh, we're rewriting the game from the ground up in the Unity engine now," and they've been really kind of holding the cards to the chest about the match engine. So everyone's like, oh, what's it going to look like? Expected it to look really good. And there's a lot of back and forth. The guy, Miles, who we saw at EGX last year, has been getting a lot of flack on X and the subreddit. So they had like a big release yesterday, I think it was. And in that release, they showed nothing. It's like a teaser. It was basically like a teaser trailer. The game's meant to come out on the 26th of November, I think, and people still haven't seen anything. Instead, they released a roadmap for when they're going to show people things. Yeah, so it looks quite tasty.
I mean, I'm excited. Look, I wasn't really interested in. I've been interested in FM20, like FM in general, for a couple of years after I played it maybe to death in the late 2019, 2020. So I think jumping into something that is different and that has been redesigned is really exciting. If it's been redesigned in a I don't know, a bit more of a shithousery way that gets you to buy stuff within the game and does
No,
all
it
the
hasn't.
negative
I
stuff,
don't think it has. They've
then
done
that's
things
fine.
like they've introduced women's football, for example. I mean, they're getting
Then
slated for
yeah,
that, but that's because, I mean, if you think
that's
about it, that
some
you can't
dickheads
imagine there's a
online, innit?
lot of people. Yeah, but you can't imagine a lot of people who play Football Manager are that concerned about it because that's going to be like that's going to be like a hardcore group of fellas.
Oh, if you,
That's a
I mean,
game aimed at fellas, isn't it?
if you want to go and play the female mode on there, it's an option, isn't it? And it's something there
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
But it doesn't detract, as long as it won't detract away from the enjoyment of the game in any
No,
way.
not at
So
all.
I can't
Not
see
at
that
all.
being a problem. But you're right, not showing the match engine's quite coy,
It is a
and I
bit.
don't mind that, to be honest. And I think the way that they've tried to, I don't know, almost brand themselves over the years has been a little bit tongue in cheek of going, we know we've got this market locked down, nobody can really touch us for it anymore. So yeah, you wait and you get what you're given rather than anything else. So, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, well,
They love a
interesting.
good
A lot of
stat. It'll be interesting to see the stats that they start putting out. I'd look because obviously a new game, new features. I want to see who uses the new features. The UI itself looks slick,
Yeah, I saw that bit.
and they've started using like AI to generate do you like the new gen players? They always used to look ridiculous, like EAFC 25 players on clubs. That's how the new gens used to look. But now they're using AI for it, and they look really cool. We shall
Tell you
see.
what's really cool. So after being pretty adamant for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that I don't think either of us were going to get a PS5 Pro. You were on the fence, to be fair. You were on the fence, so I think you were contemplating it.
I didn't want to get out Tory by Laurie.
Mate, you're always going to get out Tory by Laurie. You haven't got a choice. But staunch Labour voter, just for there are other parties available. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, make it
So
happen.
I Lib Dems. So I decided to sell my Xbox
I was there. It was sad.
Series X. You were there. Cast it into the fire. No. Reason for that. So majority of the games now that I can play on Game Pass, I can just play on my PC, and they look great on the PC. And
Even with that graphics
particularly,
card.
even with this horribly dated graphics card hanging out the PC that some idiot put in there for me. But even with all of that limitation that I've got, it just didn't make sense to keep hold of the Xbox because we were playing FIFA 24 on that. And as soon as FIFA 25 came out, which we'll talk about in a minute, it kind of left me in the situation where I was like, it just doesn't make sense to keep hold of it. It's an expensive asset that is probably just going to be a paperweight and not get switched on for a long time. So got rid of that. The next thing that I tried to get rid of was the PS5. So the reason for doing that is I actually thought the pre-order was last week for the console to then come out at the end of this month, and it's not. It's obviously a little bit further into November, and I was like, well, you know what? I'll keep hold of the PS5. And to be fair, like I got more bites on the PS5 on Facebook Marketplace than I got for the Xbox. The Xbox ended up selling it to CX for 250 quid, was it? Around about that.
256.
256. So that was relatively straightforward. But with the PS5, I can't remember how much I've got that for, but it was more. But I had like 4 or 5 people immediately trying to buy it, and one person committed to it, and I had to apologise to them, saying, no, I'm going to keep hold of it just because I want to wait until I got the PS5 Pro, and I didn't want to leave Jesse without Astrobot or you without an MVP for FIFA 25. So I kept hold of that. The other thing that sold, so this I did sell on Facebook Marketplace, and I got a very decent £300 for this, was the PSVR 2. So reason for it, again, just not finding time to play it. I've now moved my PlayStation up into the office upstairs, so I don't know if you can see, but I'm not really, I don't have an abundance of space that I can use.
Isn't that the master bedroom?
It's the master bedroom, yeah. I see. The kids are underneath the table. It's fine. We live in a two up, two down. But the perks, I think, of having that were great whenever we wanted to play Beat Saber or Synth Riders, or if you and I wanted to play like Walkabout Golf. But I think after a bit of time, it's just kind of like dawned on me that I'm really not going to play that console a lot. So I'd sooner, and I do get really badly motion sick as well.
Yeah.
So I've got Gran Turismo 7 still in the wrapper, and I was like, I really want to play
That's
that.
a shame. That's such a good game.
It is such a good game, and I still will play it. It's just it almost stopped me from playing it by having the VR headset. Now I'm like, oh, you know what? Actually, I do want to jump into it, and I will give it a bit of time. And
To be fair, you've not got the racing rig, but like I think
haven't-
playing that game in VR with the racing rig is just like
yeah,
unbelievably good.
imagine. I need to try that rig. I need to try the rig. But back on point, I think
Yep.
the one thing that I go through these phases where I want all the consoles, and I'm very aware that the next Switch is going to be out imminently next year. So I felt like consolidating what I do play probably is going to eliminate that. I almost feel like debilitated and not able to play any games because of the wealth of choice that I've got. So now that I've just got the PlayStation, and it will be eventually the PS5 Pro and the Switch for when I'm out and about, and if the Steam Deck's there as well, fuck, there's still loads. I'm still in a position where I can kind of chop and choose, but it's not as many consoles, so it makes a little bit more, takes away the burden. Plus, I just don't get the time. Like with the work, things ramping up. Like actually, enjoying watching TV shows and that kind of, like finding the time to play things is really, really difficult. And we've got a good thing going with FIFA as well that we enjoy, and that feels like a good, stressful evening. Well, it depends on the company and how they act, but yeah, most of the time I enjoy it. But you're contemplating getting rid of some things?
I'm going to get rid of the Xbox. I'm not getting rid of the PlayStation VR because there's some of the games on.
What about your PS5?
Well, I'm going to get the Pro, aren't I? So there's no point having the PS5.
That's why I'm asking the question. You didn't say it. So.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, so I'm going to do it because if I sell the Xbox, which I don't use, same as you, I only use it for EFC, or I did. No, I don't. The PlayStation I use a fair bit, but you may as well do an upgrade. It's what, £200-300, and I'll be able to use my nice telly and get 4K 60 hertz, or even 144, whatever it goes up to. I don't know what it goes up to. That telly. But like some of the lesser games, actually getting the most out of that TV, I think that's worth the little increase. But I'm not selling the PSVR 2 because I like it and I don't have to sell it, so I ain't fucking doing it. No,
I mean, I didn't sell mine because I didn't like
you're
it.
on the bones
I just
of
sold
your
mine because I just don't have time. I know, yeah. I just didn't have time for it, and it was sat there. And
have you got a Meta Quest?
No. But I am tempted to buy MetaQuest because of I can just stick it downstairs.
I'll kill you. The only reason I bought that PSVR 2 is because you said to buy the PSVR 2.
Yeah, because we were all on it. I didn't realize it was crossplay. I didn't know that. I was just trying to be like fair and think, well, Carl's going to miss out on experiences with his friends, and we had good times. It was fine. So long and short of this, we're trading everything in and getting PS5 Pros. So I pre-ordered mine.
We've already ordered them.
Yeah, so. I was going to say I pre-ordered mine relatively easy, as did you. Yeah. I sent you a note saying, "Oh, you can just literally go on the PlayStation Store and pre-order it," and it was done. So I think you still can, which is surprising because I think quite a few people were pushing a narrative online that it's sold out. It's sold out. They can't be doing too bad. It was like
people have been waiting to hear if we were going to get on the bandwagon or not. I think once this goes live on Friday, everybody will be picking them up because they know.
Yeah,
the boys are getting it. Use
the promo code Casual Karl for nothing off your order. For fuck all. Speaking of fuck all from Karl, so what have you been playing?
I have been playing 2 games predominantly. I mean, I've been playing. I played a bit of Zelda as well, the new one. It's alright, but EFC 25 number 1. That is different. It looks very similar, but it plays different. I quite like the new game. You see a disparity in the levels a lot more than you did in the previous one, so it's a bit more brutal. You've got to play smarter, which is not always my forte. Different playing styles as well, which is nice. You kind of reinvent ourselves this year. It's like it's like when you change from primary school to secondary school, isn't it? You can be who you want to be. I just chose to continue being a gimp, but that's okay. That was my choice.
It's your pick.
Yeah, so it's been good fun. 70 quid's a lot of money for a game.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? But basically the same game as well. Let's be honest. I mean, I haven't looked and jumped into the other parts, but it pretty much is the same game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the part that's kind of jumped out at me, so specifically on clubs, which is the the feature that we play more of. But so if anyone doesn't know what clubs is, it's 11v11, but you create your character and then you pick. You can chop and change where you want to play, and you can rebuild that character up in certain ways, make them look different whenever you want. So it's like you're not
Very
limited.
different.
But when you when you choose the game, or when you're playing in a match, you're kind of limited to that one position. So like, let's say as an example, you go as a winger. What I've found in this, it plays a lot more like traditional FIFA. So to get through a team, like quicker passing and astute movement seems a lot more. Seems more current, more of the currency of actually winning, rather than you could tap into like a meta on 24,
Yeah.
where you basically get one guy that's great at crossing, one guy that's great at heading, and that's pretty much what we worked on for a long time.
What was your,
Or vice
position in that
versa.
team then?
Neither. I was the creator, Carl. I was the roaming Palmer. But you get that kind of you maybe got two or three different versions of that meta. Whereas this one, it feels you can get past the AI a little bit better if you're savvy with the way that you move the ball, which I think is a lot more in line with how football actually plays. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I think the early levels are, because you have to level up to be able to then power your player up and get different attributes. So we're kind of at that point where the players aren't shit, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get them up. But I'm enjoying it. It's fine.
Good
It's
fun.
good.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's good to build back up. If anyone wants to play, anybody fancies joining our club, please reach out on Twitter at It's Casual Mode. Not the Hammers. We're not the Hammers.
I have to say X.
So I've been playing EAFC 25. I won't talk any more about that, but I've also been playing Balatro. So that was released on mobile last week. Specifically, it came out on Android and also on Apple Arcade as well. It's such a great game. I think you played it, didn't you, for a little while and then you dropped off it.
I'd rather just play like poker.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just, I think playing a poker game's fine, except obviously there's no way of losing actual money in this, or winning actual money, which could be perceived as negative.
I'm very good at losing money playing poker.
Me too. Not in the Leo Casino, but in most life I am, especially online. I hate online poker. But the whole point of Balatro, if you haven't played it, is like you've got a deck of cards and you power up with jokers that you can purchase from a shop, or you can open packs, try and get better jokers. You can also power up the cards that are in your deck. So just like, let's say King, you can make it so that if you keep that card in your hand by the end of the match, if you've then got enough points to progress, it might pay you, $3 or $4 that you can add into your kitty, and currency's worth a damn sight to powering up your deck. So there's loads of different mechanisms that happen, but ostensibly the whole point of that game is just to get the highest possible score that you can, using a combination of those jokers and things that I might do to like multiply hands. And as you're going through it, the whole point and conceit is that you play like a pair, or you play a poker hand, you play a straight, you play a flush, you play a royal flush, and all of those things are worth X% more depending on the complexity of the hand. So the further you get in that game, the more rounds you play, the harder it gets to, or rather the number of points or chips required to get through to the next round is even more difficult. Then every 3 matches you play a boss blind, which is it's a boss match, but that boss will have a certain attribute that you need to be able to get around. So clubs might be debuffed, so you can't use them. They won't get points scored. Or one is called the wall, which is an absolute fucker, and that is a super high blind. So it's almost impossible to get through that unless you've got an exceptionally good quality deck and combination of jokers. So it's just dopamine hit after dopamine hit. And because it's almost like roguelite and you're kind of working your way through this game, and then you're probably starting a new run every, depending on how shit you are, how good you are, like maybe 20 or 30 minutes, or maybe even an hour, if you have a really good run. But the whole point of dragging you back in to try and get a better and better run, it's so addictive. But it's definitely worth it, mate. I think if you've got your phone there, you can probably pick it up on Android. Yeah, well, that's it. But you can pick it up on Android. It's really, really well polished. There's a couple of bugs on it, but it is. I'm not seeing them on my iOS version, but it's really well polished. It's a really fun game. The music in it's fantastic, and I think the The replayability of it means that it's the perfect kind of like, right, it's in my pocket. I don't have to rush to play it. I can just switch it off if I want to join it again later on. And yeah, it's just perfect. It stopped me from playing Marvel Snap, which is unreal. Since
Like for like, though, surely.
in what way? Oh yeah, totally, yeah, totally. Well, not I haven't got that far, but yeah, it's a good game. Pick it up if you haven't got it already. Could be game of the year, technically. You have linked us to something that we started to watch before, which was Unreal 5.5 megabytes. Fire away, Carl. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, technology. Before a second, should we give an intro first? What it is?
You give the intro and I'll get it to...
Super duper. So there was I was reading through an article today, which I think it was posted from yesterday. Actually,
Jesus, go on.
it's all right. I think you could have just put the Alexis McAllister goal on, to be honest. So yeah, I was watching a video today of the new Unreal Engine and the changes. So I don't know if you've been keeping up to date with the Unreal 5.1, etc. changes. We see like the tech demos. If you remember, do you remember the Matrix game in quotes, like the tech demo game where you were in the Matrix universe, you could jump up and fly all the cars, and you could see like the scale of it. Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's just levels of that, and so now they're looking at further changes to the lighting side of it. And there's a clip in this video where they really demonstrate the kind of dynamism of it. So they'll turn up the lights in certain areas, and then they introduce shadows and the kind of the depth. It just looks like so deep, and just looks really realistic. And this is just on a normal PlayStation. It's not even a PlayStation Pro. So I just think it's really indicative of the progress that's being made. And once we start seeing these in the games, which takes a few years to be realized, I just think it's exceptionally exciting. Because I mean, look at that. Like that's no, it's just a demo, and they've probably got a team of people working on building this out to make it look as good as possible. Like when you go in John Lewis and you look at the TVs, it's the best they can possibly do. But I mean, if you look at that there on screen, that looks quality. But then in a few seconds now, they add a bit more subtlety to the light in the shadows, and I just think it just looks fantastic. There we go.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it? Literally.
Hey. But yeah, no. So that was it. It's nothing insightful, unfortunately, but I just think it looks really cool, and it's really exciting.
It's exciting.
That's on current hardware.
Yeah, it's on current hardware, and I think this is the point of the current hardware is it's probably not being, it's still being throttled, and then we're not getting the best out of it, which is why I had like trepidations about getting the PS5 Pro. But I think if you can unlock that now a little bit better, it's probably worth the premium, and especially some of the upscaling that can happen. And then I know it's falsifying a lot of that work that just a great engine can do, but yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? Why not both? Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, if your eyes can't perceive it, then what's the difference?
Yeah, no, I totally got it. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Carl. We've been watching things. I'm going to talk about mine first because it's probably a lot quicker than what Carl's is. But I've been rewatching The Sopranos, which I still think is probably the best TV show of all time. So I think it's taken. I think we're on season 3 at the moment, so Soph's never watched it before. So her little journey through it's been quite interesting to watch. And I think the early season's a bit rough, so a bit ropey in times, and even just the way that I think it was 1999. So I think the fidelity of it's a little bit washed out, and
right, I see.
Even the direction, and I think just the production cost wasn't quite there in season 1, but the story is and the writing is, so I think you still thoroughly enjoy it, and then you get bought into the characters, and there's so much like exposition and so much character detail with the real key group that you get to know and love. But have you ever watched it?
No.
Definitely worth it. Like, I've got them all on Blu-ray, so I might bring or might palm you off with season 1 tomorrow.
How many hours is it to watch?
It's too intimidating to say that, because I think if you approach a TV show in that way, you're never actually going to enjoy it. But if you just think like this is consistently great quality, similar to like your Breaking Bad's, The Wire, Game of Thrones. Like, you know, this is something that has been revered for the best part of 2 decades now, and
Yeah.
I think some of the themes and some of the content that goes through it, like season 3, there's some really hairy scenes that happen, and to consider that something like there's like a really grotesque rape scene in it, and to think that that's never really been featured on television before that, like there has been, but not in a way that that's perceived, and the impact of what happened after it, and how that character then develops out of it, and the changes and decisions that they've got to make about their own life and their focus on control, and how they then deal with that loss of control, and how they want to then get it back through their interactions in the world. Like, again, it just, that exposition, that work, just really, really, it's so rich, and it's so much fun to watch. And I think that can be the problem sometimes with complicated TV shows, is it doesn't become enjoyable. It becomes boring, or it becomes a little bit too obtuse or self-gratifying, whereas The Sopranos just isn't that.
Well, the writers
But
run out of things, run out of themes.
yeah, or it's a trope. Like, I think the problem is you've had this TV show come out 20 odd years ago, and even when you're watching it now, you go, huh, that's a theme that feels very similar. Or, you know, in
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, it still takes so much away from it, but how can't you? You know, it's like fantasy taken away from Tolkien. You know, it's exactly the same thing, where this thing's been revered for so long, and it's you know, rightfully so as well. But it's because it's such a joy to watch, and it's so interesting, and the twists it takes, and decisions that the writing team have made. Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, plot to it. If you've never watched The Sopranos, go watch The Sopranos. But I will bring you season 1 tomorrow. But you're watching something that I'm desperate to watch as well.
Finished it. Finished it in a day.
Oh my god!
I know.
How many hours was that?
6 hours, I think.
That's pretty good. Okay,
6 episodes.
divulge.
So I've been watching Mr. McMahon on Netflix. It kind of goes through the backstory, as you'd imagine, of how he took over the company, how he expanded the company, how he grew it, standard stuff. And there's just constantly like little themes in there of like little issues, blah blah blah. And you get to episode 6. It's just great, but for bad reasons. But it's how you see him get kind of dismantled. I can't really say much more than that, because even though it was, you know, heavily publicised in the media, if you're going to watch it, you want to watch it, don't you? So, although they do actually say a comment on it in the first episode, so I might not be spoiling anything for anybody by saying what happens, but but it was really nice. You know, there was a tear-jerking moment in there where Shane McMahon, his son, money, and then when he talks about how he's, you know, longing for his dad's approval, and you see a scene where he gets it and he hugs him, and you're like, oh, it's nice. There's no parallels in my life. So, yeah, no, it's good. Definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. It made me want to play SmackDown versus Raw, which I had long time ago.
Those wrestling games were absolutely brilliant. In fact, I think the 2K ones are meant to be back to form as well. So
that's on PS Plus, isn't it, this month?
It is. Yeah, it is. So maybe that's something we could play. That would be quite fun. We can both get in our tighty whities and fight. How'd you like that? Yeah, I remember Vince McMahon, he was on Joe Rogan a while ago, and being like this 70-year-old absolute animal that still keeps himself in unreal shape, and
that was a
it's basically been a tour de force of just like running a very, very complicated sports enterprise and then building it up not from nothing, but certainly building it up from like, you know, £1 million business to a multi-billion-pound business, which is just insane. And I think it got bought eventually, didn't it, by the same people that own the UFC?
So I think it's called now.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy's downfall, it sounds as if he's done a lot of wrong stuff from what I've read in the media, and a lot of it rotated around younger women and power struggles and things that he probably shouldn't have done. So yeah, I'm excited to watch it, but it's more interesting the fact that he actually contributed to it, because I think at the time, or certainly when it was kickstarted, there was nothing really publicised about him, you know, in terms of like the negatives. There were some bits out there.
You see the moment, well, they it's obviously dramatized, but you see the moment where like he stands up and walks away, and they say at this point he refused to engage with a documentary.
Yeah. I like that though.
But I don't. That could have just been him walking away for like a bit of fluff.
Toilet break. Bit of fluff.
Yeah, especially at his age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. Good.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect. Should we talk about our predictions?
No, there's another point in there that
I know there is, but we'll come back to that in a second because I want to talk about it after I've given the result. So, in fact, we'll go through the results
I must have
first.
done better this week than last week.
I think you probably did. It didn't start well. So we had. Is that right? West Ham, Chelsea? Nope. It's not right.
Chelsea.
It's not right. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and find whilst we're talking. In fact, it's because it was on episode 7. Yeah, my face going to go red. Okie doke. So you said. Yeah, for some reason I can't find the actual results. Why can't I find them?
It's no great pity.
Have you deleted them?
No, I haven't deleted them. How? Why would you accuse me of that?
Have you deleted them?
No, I haven't.
You piece of shit. Have you deleted them?
No.
Absolutely disgusting.
This is my least favorite segment, by the way. I think we should change it. I think we should actually put money on it.
Okay. All right.
Because otherwise, what we should do is we should do on like Instagram and TikTok for the kids. We should do like "G'day Panners."
It's day 5 of betting against Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we had. Where are you? Is that the right ones? I think it is. Is it the right ones? Yes, it is.
Do you want
so we had
Newcastle again. Now you found it. No, okay.
No, come on. Need to show them how the cookie is cut. Newcastle, Man City. Newcastle drew. Shock horror. Their first game without Rodri. So Rodri Noni seems to be struggling. Arsenal won against Leicester 4-2. Arsenal are favourites for the Premier League now, Carl. FYI.
Are they?
They are, allegedly. Brentford won. West Ham won. Chelsea beat Brighton 4-2. All 4 goals scored by Cole, the second coming Palmer. Everton actually won a game against Crystal Palace. Fucking hell.
Shocking.
Nottingham Forest lost against Fulham 1-0. And Wolves beat Liverpool 2-1. On the Sunday, Manchester United got absolutely spanked. Sorry,
Liverpool
Matt.
won, so.
They did. Manchester United
said Wolves beat Liverpool.
Okay.
We're top of the league then.
Wolves lost against Liverpool 2-1. Man U got spanked 3-0 by Spurs, and Ipswich drew with the Villa 2-2. And on Monday Night Football, Bournemouth beat Southampton 3-1. Did you see the video
of
the Bournemouth fans cheering?
No.
So there's a video online, and it's like the 90th minute, and Southampton are already 3-1 down, and then it comes over the tannoy. Bearing in mind, it's like the Bournemouth Stadium, and it's like, just to let all of the travelling fans know that the final train to Southampton has been cancelled, and the whole stadium just goes, like erupts, and it was like the next train. Apparently, it's like 5 o'clock the next morning.
I don't want to highlight my lack of geographical knowledge, but aren't Bournemouth and Southampton both on the south coast?
They are.
Okay.
Southampton.
It could have been worse, couldn't it? It could have been Bournemouth, Newcastle.
It is 39 minutes away in a car. So it's not that bad. Yeah, you are right. So people just making a mountain.
Can we get that in a soundbite, please?
Get what in a soundbite?
You are right.
Okay. So Saturday, 5th of October. You can write these down then, because I'll read them out.
No,
you can
I
tell
don't
me the
want to do
scores.
that.
Well, you've got to do it. So
Can't we just do the betting thing instead?
Yeah, that's the betting thing. That's the goal.
That's the real quiz.
How do you want to do it? Do you want to do it on results, or do you want to do it on accurate results?
If the bet wins.
What bet wins? You need to talk in not in riddles. What do you mean?
Well, so we've got choices, haven't we? Got choices. What we could do an ACCA. We could do an ACCA on just who's going to win. So win or draw.
Are you talking about a joint up approach on this?
If you want, I don't care. We can do it if you want.
Oh,
do you want to lose money as well?
Yeah, well, why not? Come on. Okay, so let's do it. So you note down what the results are, and we're going to put them all on. And we'll just do draw, win, for the home side or
Lovely.
win for the away team. Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. Early kickoff, Saturday, 5th of October, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Your bogey team, but they are on a bad form.
That was a long time ago.
What, the bogey team?
Who
You've slipped
cares
up on
about
them a few times recently as well.
You're so funny, aren't you? You're so funny. Are you playing tonight as well? Oh no, you're not in the Champions League.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But if I was, I wouldn't be podcasting. So Crystal Palace or Liverpool, Karl, or a draw? What are we going for? Should we go for a Liverpool win just to keep you happy? That make you happy. Arsenal play Southampton in the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. I'm going to go for Arsenal win. Feels common sense. Brentford versus Wolves.
Oh, I give you a chance to consider it. Give me a chance to
You
consider
think
it.
Southampton are going to do something against Arsenal
Um,
at the Emirates?
I'd like to see Arteta have the meltdown by them doing it, but no. Okay.
It's not going to happen.
Go
So
on.
Brentford Wolves. I'll let you pick this one. Come on.
I'm gonna go Wolves. That's probably
Okay.
gonna help our odds.
It will. Leicester Bournemouth.
What are you going for?
I'm going for the same. Like you pick, and then we'll just do it one. Put one acca on each. For the
Okay.
same
Okay.
results. Brentford Wolves.
You said Wolves. Do you want to?
You said
overrule?
Wolves.
Yeah, I said Wolves. Do you want to overrule me?
I mean, I would either go Brentford or draw based on table, but you know what? Go with Wolves. Go with your gut.
No, because we'll come back to this next week when Wolves
I
do
won't, I
win.
will not.
When
No,
Wolves
I
do
won't
win.
be critical. No, but then it'll go the other way around. When Brentford win, I'll be like, good thing I did intervene, Karl. Now we're millionaires. Leicester Bournemouth.
Draw.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Fair. Yeah. Wait for the bias here. Man City Fulham.
City. Yeah. There's money on the line now.
West Ham Ipswich.
West Ham.
Got to be West Ham in it. This one's tricky. Everton Newcastle. Everton on the back of a amazing result against Crystal Palace. 5:30 at home. Packed Goodison Park.
Televised.
Yeah, televised. Sky Sports.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to be Newcastle on it.
Yeah,
Anthony
absolutely.
Gordon. Anthony Gordon.
Oh,
yeah.
Anthony Gordon
Anthony Gordon scored a goal.
After Southgate came out this week, didn't he? And said that he knew that Gordon was distracted by the whole move of Gordon going to Liverpool. And Gordon was saying to everybody at the England camp he was going to Liverpool.
Oh, interesting.
So tasty.
Fair enough.
Next,
We didn't know. Aston Villa. So it's Sunday now. Aston Villa versus United, 2 o'clock. Tough on that, but I'd expect Villa to bounce back. And I think they've got more in the tank than United at the moment. And that could seal Ten Hag's fate, in my opinion.
or can we go for United then? Just because I don't want him to go. I don't want to go.
I don't think it'll make any difference what we.
Ten Hag's at the wheel. No, okay, fair enough.
He is
Villa.
at the wheel.
Villa, that's fine.
A baldy bastard. 2 o'clock. Chelsea versus Forest.
Draw.
Got to be Chelsea. And then Brighton Spurs at 4:30. So Brighton are leaking goals left, right, and centre at the moment, but do look quite strong. So maybe that could be a bit of a banana peel for Spurs.
Do you reckon?
I think it could be. Like even the last couple of results that Spurs have had. Let's have a look.
Spurs beat the mighty United.
So head-to-head wins. So last couple of results, Spurs won at home. Brighton beat them 4-2 before that. Spurs won at home. Spurs won away. Brighton won away. So and the last couple of results, so Spurs beat United, beat Brentford, lost against Arsenal, lost against Newcastle, battered Everton. Brighton have lost against us, drawn, then won against United. So Brighton are in 9th, Spurs are 8th. Spurs tip it on goals scored per match and concede fewer goals even, and also create more chances. Yeah, if you want to go for Spurs, I'm not against it.
you sure?
Yeah, Welbeck's the top scorer out of the fixture as well. So
Okay. Interesting.
there we
How
go.
much are we putting on it?
Tenner?
That's gonna win big if we get that.
Let's do it. Come on.
In
What are we going to do with the money?
Blackjack and
Oh dear. Okay.
very
fine,
good.
We'll do that. So, bit of a sidebar because I think there's something that's pissed you off in the week, but I keep on saying that I think Cole Palmer might be the best player in the Premier League at the moment.
That fact alone doesn't piss me off. It's just the fact that you will not shut up about him, and I couldn't care less about him. I couldn't care less about him.
There must be an element of I'm not being.
No, I'm happy for him, but every day I think you've gone, Cole Palmer. I'm like, there can't be that much news about Cole Palmer.
Give me something for once. We've not had a lot to cheer at Stamford Bridge for a while. But I think in terms of the way that he's playing at the moment, he would get into any team in the Premier League. That's probably fair. Cool. Ironic that City let him go, but he would make it in on form alone to any of the teams, and I'll play in. Well, that's again another problem, isn't it? But realistically, he should have played. I think most people probably expected him to be a one-season wonder, but clearly the guy's got something special about him. So he scored all 4 goals against Brighton. First player to ever score 4 in the first half of the Premier League, which is absolutely insane. So he's now 20th in the top number of hat-tricks scored. So bearing in mind only 20 players have been directly involved in 4+ goals in at least 3 Big 5 European League matches. Suarez, Messi, Ronaldo are the only players to reach double figures for goals, assist hauls. So the fact that Cole Palmer is on that list after 58 Premier League appearances is insane, considering how many league appearances you've got for the people in front of him are Suarez, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Kane, Aguero, Andy Cole, Henry, Mbappe, Haaland, Lewandowski, Mertens, Sheringham, Shearer, Michael Owen, Solskjaer, Ibrahimovic, Salah, and Immobile. Bearing in mind that from Sheringham, Shearer, Owen, Solskjaer, Ibrahimovic, Salah, and Immobile have all got the same number of 3. So the number of matches in a career player, that to me is absolutely ridiculous. And then 2 of Haaland's under 23 hauls came for Dortmund in the Bundesliga. That means Palmer is the first player in the Premier League history to be directly involved in 4+ goals in 3 different matches before turning 23 years old.
I'm so upset that I'm not editing this one, because I would take your levels and just taper them off and then play like
Thank you. Yeah, so the only player above him at the moment.
I couldn't give a shit.
You could. That's the thing.
Honest to God. The first time you told me, I thought that was interesting, and then now we're still talking about it.
He's got a decade to make up on other players.
I know, and still, it's just unremarkably interesting.
Yeah, and he scored 10 out of 10 of his penalties as well. Do you know what I mean? Unreal. So, is he the best player in the Premier League at the moment?
On form, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel he will be by the end of the season?
The best player in general?
In the Premier League?
If he continues at this rate? Well, I'm not sure, really, because he hasn't scored the most goals at this stage. He hasn't created the most chances at this stage. So if he continues on the same rate, based on those metrics, it's a conversation. But you've seen the conversation, isn't he?
He's in the conversation. It's interesting.
That's all I'll give you.
I think he was. I mean, that's more than
I'll
what
tell
I
you
expected.
he'll win the Ballon d'Or if we can move on to the next bit.
Next bit. Let's move. So we've got
He'll win the
deals.
Ballon d'Or.
He won the Ballon d'Or. Don't even think he could say Ballon d'Or. Bless him. He's got no brains, has he? At all. When he was talking about chippy chips, there's nothing in there at all. And I think that's why he's just.
Now.
Oh yeah. I know. Kill for some chippy chips. But he's dumb. But he's our dumb genius. So we picked 2 deals out. I've gone for Remnant 2 because on PC at the moment it's the humble choice for October. So you pay £8.99 for it, which is obscene for that game. And it seems like an absolute fantastic one. It's one that I was hoping we could possibly dive into. I really want to try that. And what's the name of the Steam shoot 'em up? That's only invite only at the moment.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah,
We
that one.
talked about it a few weeks ago.
We did. We did.
Is Remnant 2 the game that's on Game Pass?
It might be. It might be. But for PC, £8.99 if you want it. What was your deal?
Rubbish, to be honest. I wouldn't even bother. So, I mean, it's a Garmin 530, which is like the lowest end cycling computer, and I think it was £155, £156, which is a good price because RRPs for 200. So if anybody, if any of the one of you are interested in a cycling computer, you can buy one from Amazon Spain. So it's not going to get there anytime soon, obviously, because Spanish workers in the warehouse. But it'll come when it comes.
It'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. That's everything. Anything from you want to talk about before we go? No?
Can we talk a bit more about Dragon Age Veilguard?
Nope.
Can we talk a bit
Not at
more
all.
about Cole Palmer?
Yes, if
Well,
you
on
want.
that bombshell.
I've got plenty of stuff on that bombshell. We have been casual mode every Friday on YouTube and Spotify. It says on here again, more to come, including podcasts. But I think we're already on it now, so I think we're pretty much everywhere that we want to be, or everywhere that you want us to be. So if you could, people need to stop. I know, just give us a rest. But what would be lovely, if you don't want to give us a rest and you still want to watch us, please, if you wouldn't mind reviewing us on the chosen podcast format that you like to listen on, and the app that you're on, or even better, if you pop over to YouTube and give us a thumbs up and maybe a subscribe, that will help the algorithm and feed the beast to get us more viewers. Right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.